Coming this summer, CAPA launches a new outreach program creating intergenerational connection through the arts. Today on City Chat. Director of Education and Outreach, Amy Handra from CAPA, is here to chat about the new Arise program. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for joining us on City Chat today.
Hi, so nice to be here. Thank you.
I'm really excited to talk about this CAPA, this new summer outreach program, and it's called Arise. Can you just tell us a little bit about the Arise program?
Yeah, sure. So Arise is short for Arts Through Intergenerational Social Engagement. And this program is actually a collaboration that we're doing with The Ohio State University and Worthington Christian Village, and also an organization called Grow In, which is acting as sort of our facilitator for the program. And what this program is an intergenerational program that will pair teenagers up with older senior adults at Worthington Christian Village to participate in a 6-week fine arts program centered around storytelling. Our tagline is everyone has a story to share.
So what are your goals for the program?
So we have some goals set for both the teens and the older adults. And one goal that is common for both is that we're hoping to change the perceptions that both older adults might have about teenagers and that also teenagers might have about older adults. Perceptions often change when we really actually get to know someone. So we're hoping that will be a goal that we reach with both groups. For the teenagers, we also want to help them learn how to use the fine arts as a tool for wellness, how to understand the importance of volunteerism, and to find commonality and shared experiences with these older adults. For the senior adults, we're also hoping to decrease loneliness and isolation that they probably feel, especially after this 2 years of the pandemic, where they haven't had a lot of people be able to visit them and do programming in person. And we're also interested in strengthening their communication skills and their quality of life, just improving their quality of life.
You touched on this a little bit about how the program came about, and how the pandemic, there was this raise for concern for older adults, but this is such a creative initiative to pursue. Can you talk a little bit about how all of these pieces of the puzzle came together?
Yeah, sure. So we actually started working with Worthington Christian Village back in 2019. I had started a program where we took 2 of our Ohio Theater docents and history experts out to a couple different senior centers, and they did a virtual tour because many of those adults, couldn't make it physically to our buildings, but they still have a genuine interest in learning about, history and then also the programming we're doing. So we also gave them a sneak preview of our Broadway series that was coming in some of our other programs. That relationship sort of started conversations about, that was like a one-time thing. It was like, well, how can we expand and create a more long-term program that would have a more lasting impact? And so out of those conversations, that's where Arise developed. And we were actually supposed to launch in 2020, in the summer of 2020, which obviously didn't happen. And so in some strange ways, the pandemic has actually made the program even more, I think, important and more, I think, impactful, because there's been this 2-year hiatus for them at Worthington Christian and for our teens, many of them who were doing remote learning for the last few years. So we're excited that we're finally able to launch this in person, which is also an unknown factor. We weren't sure if we would be able even to do that this summer. And thankfully, we are able to do that finally. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's really exciting. It's all of this anticipation, and finally you guys get to launch. And it sounds like such a really cool program. How many students and seniors will be involved in this first year?
Okay, so this is a pilot year for us. Our hope is we're going to have about 6 to 8 residents from Worthington Christian that are going to participate. And so our goal is to have at least 6, because we'd like to pair up the teams either 1-to-1 or possibly 2-to-1 or even possibly 3, depending on how much interest we get. So it's a little wide in that we're looking for at least 6 teens, but we could go all the way up, I think, to 18 teens this year. And the goal is also that we will also be working with undergraduate volunteers from Ohio State University who will be paired up with each a senior adult, as well as sort of a mentor for the teens and to help facilitate the sessions.
For high school students who are interested in applying, do they have to meet a certain criteria, or how does the application process work?
Yeah, so they just have to be high school students currently this school year, so grades 9 through 12 now, and then they would go to CAPA.com. We have a pretty easy application process. There's some just questions that we'll ask them, why are you interested in the program? What's your background in the arts? Just to kind of figure out, what their interests are and why they're applying. And then I will actually be conducting interviews with those teens via Zoom. And so we can kind of just get to know each other, and I can see if they would be a right fit for this year. And then we'll invite the teens that we select to be a part of the Scholars Program.
Students who are picked to participate in this, do they receive some type of like extracurricular credit or?
Yes, our goal is that they would receive service hours. It will end up being about 20 service hours. So, a lot of high schools have those requirements for graduation. Certainly a lot of colleges look favorably upon service hours. So yes, this would fulfill, I think, service hours for most of those types of requirements.
I know universities look really favorably like at CAPA and just, art institutions. And this is just such a creative program that do you see the program continuing or expanding outside of, just Worthington Christian?
Yeah, we definitely do. So, this is the pilot year, and our goal and hope is that if this is a success, which we very much hope it will be, that this will continue to become an annual program in the summers, and that we'll be able to visit many different senior centers in Central Ohio.
Is there anything else that you want to add about like the program itself? Any details that you can share with us?
Sure. So one thing I would say is that, our central theme is storytelling, but we are going to explore that theme through a number of different fine arts areas. So sessions that we do will range from storytelling through visual art. So looking at photographs and how do we tell stories based on whatever that wonderful photographic image is. Storytelling through music will be a session. We'll do some storytelling through dance and movement, because what if we can't physically or vocally communicate? How do we tell stories outside of that? And then I'm really excited about our final sort of session, which is storytelling through drama, of course, being a theater person myself. But what we're going to do over the course of the 5 weeks prior is collect different stories, and then the teens are going to pick some of those to dramatize and perform with and for the seniors in our final session. So we're going to explore this area of storytelling from a lot of different angles.
That sounds really amazing. Thank you so much for giving us a sneak peek.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
I'm Josie Smith. Thanks for watching City Chat on CTV.